some degree of bemusement. She's been dating Ron for a bit over 6 months now, and is still learning our family quirks. Paul and Lorraine are okay. They're just on a different wavelength from the rest of us, and their kids. Let's just say they're exuberant. No, let's be truthful here. The kids run that household with a special brand of emotional blackmail, and it gets really old watching the parents hop to fulfill their every little wish. Ron and I have learned over the years to just grit our teeth and pray for a quick passage of time when that group visits. Victoria spoke up. How about lunch later, Charlie? A long one that involves some margaritas? Bless the lady. She knows how to offer the right thing at the right time. Although she was dressed in her usual chic, fit-for-the-country club style, we parted with a plan to meet at Pedro's at noon. I glanced down at my attire, my normal jeans and a light blue summer top. I might have to class up my act if I began hanging around with Victoria. It wasn't so much that she spent a lot on clothes. She just had a way of choosing things which went together so well. You knew she never stepped out of the house without checking the mirror. The June sky, even this early in the day, was a blue so deep it was almost painful to look at, with the temperature predicted for the high 90s and not a puff of cloud to break the heat. I watched Ron and Victoria drive off in his Mustang, then retrieved my Jeep from the airport parking garage, paid my tab, and headed west on Gibson. 3 multicolored hot air balloons floated above the western horizon, a rare sight in the summer months. Maybe they were practicing up for the annual balloon fiesta a few months away. Every year the event drew hundreds of balloonists, thousands of spectators, and several tons of cash into our economy. Thinking of cash reminded me that I needed to stop at the bank on my way home. I'd been longing for some time alone with Drake, once my brother and his family left. But it looked like it was not to be, not yet anyway. Drake's helicopter business stayed fairly busy this spring, despite a short fire season. He'd done several photo shoots, sightseeing tours, and those other miscellaneous services helicopters can perform. Now he had a customer who wanted to catch the fantastic light on the red rocks near Gallup, filming a music video at sunrise tomorrow. It would entail an overnight stay for all involved, and at over $1,000 an hour for the aircraft, plus all expenses for the entire crew, it was turning into a pricey project. But they were willing. I just needed to make sure their check was going to clear before Drake turned a rotorblade for them. Nothing personal, but film companies were notoriously flaky about paying their bills. I exited Interstate 40 at Rio Grande, past the Sheraton in Old Town, and turned left on Central. I pulled into a neighborhood grocery, remembering that Paul's 2 kids had decimated our supplies of milk and bread. That little errand took no more than 5 minutes, and I headed next for our branch of First Albuquerque Bank. Whipping into the parking lot, I was pleased to see that there were only 2 other vehicles in front of the building. A woman leaving the bank's ATM walked toward a small blue sedan, apparently finished with her business. 2 men in an old red crew cab pickup truck, parked near the door, were deep in discussion. Looked like they were arguing over how to fill out a deposit slip. The one on the passenger side glanced up at me, but I was walking quickly. I would easily beat them to the door. With my choice of tellers, I walked to the window of Gina, a woman about my own age who'd waited on me many times. Today she wore her fluffy blonde hair up in a clip and had an American flag sticker attached to her standard-issue bank name tag. Her red and white sweater complemented it nicely. "How's it going, Charlie?" she asked with a grin. Good. Just sent my house guests off on the plane." "Summer vacationers?" "My middle brother. He has 2 kids who... Oh, you don't want to hear it." I handed her the production company's check. "I need to be sure this will clear." Gina started to hit some keys at her terminal, but something caught her eye. She glanced up and her gaze traveled over my shoulder. Uh-oh. Her hand slid below the counter. Her face lost about 3 shades of color. I whirled around to see what had frightened her. My first coherent thought was, why are those 2 guys wearing ski masks? My eyes traveled downward and caught the dull black barrel of a semi-automatic. My second thought was, oh, crap. I turned away, avoiding the slitted eyes behind the dark blue masks. "Hold still, Charlie," Gina whispered.